like the 6 Dasher. I think you shot Tommy's, right? It's this little tiny case, but shit, you'll shoot that out to a mile, no problem. And people will look at that and be like, what do you mean you don't need a 338? It's like, no, you just need this little 6 mil and it's going to hammer. It's all about consistency, like we were talking about.
Yeah. So where did that, like from the round development of the PRS, like where did they start and where do they come today? Because like I see all these different, what we'll call them variants.
Wildcats. Precision shooting goes back like quite a ways. And it was mainly done, most of it was out of a company called Lapua in Europe. They started with, the most popular one is the BR family of cases. Like there's a case called the 6BR, and everyone's taken that and done like the 6BRA, the 6BRX.
What's BR stand for?
Bench rest.
Bench rest. So there's a shooting discipline where you sit on a bench with the heaviest rifle that you can.
Like 60-pound gun. You can't pick that thing up.
And you're shooting 600 yards to 1,000 yards. And so, like, for example, we hold the world record now with our brass.
And the people are great. Like that's one of the big things about the shooting sport community is that, you know, what I became really good friends with my buddy Mike Keenan. Like we were at a match and my rifle goes down, the trigger breaks, and he's just like, "Oh, dude, here's my $12,000 rifle with a Schmidt and Bender and like all this other stuff on it." He's like, "Use it."
And my ammo and everything. Here,
because my ammo might not work for his gun, and so it was like he's like, "Here, take everything," because I bring a backup when I go shooting. But yeah, you go to a match, they'll be like, "Oh, you need a rangefinder."
I don't know if, depending on the color of the Gavin Newsom's underwear is whether or not something's legal in that state that week. So it's like part of me is like, shit, at least I know I'm like 50 state legal. I'm not going to get rolled up or somebody's going to have an issue. And two, I take that bolt out, you know, I throw a rod down the barrel. I'm done. Like I rod it, shoot it. Like it's easy to clean. It's easy to travel with. Its accuracy is
and one day I think I walked into Andrew's office and like, the product's very consistent, but it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Let's throw away all of our tooling and let's start over.
Okay.
We learned a lot though. Like it was a big learning curve just to get it dimensionally consistent. And like Tom said, we were like, you know, the product was pretty dang good, but we didn't have that like extra factor, which is the OCD, which is when we made that big change.
And the win is, and you're the same way, like the product. Like the win is the product. And so how do we take a company that's owned this market for so long and they make a phenomenal product? The bar's high.
Yeah.
And we jump so far over it that it changes the industry. And that was the ultimate goal. And they just gave up finally. They just gave up. They just said, screw it.
We went to 80,000 PSI with complete functionality of the weapon system, and that's unheard of for brass. It didn't even look like it was damaged.
No way.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for a shooter? For precision shooting, it means a lot. So the last 3 years, it's not the brass that's obviously doing it. We're fortunate enough that the best shooters in the world have chosen our product because they feel it works the best for them.
Right.
And so we're now the most winning brass in these competitions. We're taking world records. But what does that mean for you when you go hunting? It really means that, let's say that gun gets wet or you get a bunch of dust or adverse conditions, that brass is still going to function.
Right.
You get ammo wet and you don't know what's going to happen. You may lock your bolt. You're going to blow the primer out of the back. So it increases that operational window. And then if you reload, you can. I mean, I have someone that did a live test on camera and reloaded it 45 times and just stopped. So in privacy, he's reloaded one piece of our competition brass 200 times. It's so precise that it lets you make perfect ammo at home. We're buying powder drops that are made by small companies that are designed to drop 1 kernel of powder. Like, you're not going to go buy that in the store.
No.
So it's known within the community.
The advancement that the precision shooting world has had in the last 10 years is unbelievable. The growth of like optic systems, like Schmidt and Bender used to be one of the best optics.
Yeah.
And now they're not. Like there's so much better glass out there. Like you never see, I shouldn't say never, but you hardly see Schmidt and Benders on the line in these competition worlds anymore.
So who's dominating in optics now?
I mean, Leupold's doing a phenomenal job. Like you go to a match, and I would say probably 50 to 70% of optics.
It's probably the most winning optic now is the new Leupold Mark V.
Their glass, the glass they have is phenomenal.
But Night Forces, the new Vortex Gen 3s are amazing.
Especially with heavy brakes too.
Oh,
The brakes
it's so
pushes
bad.
it back
Yeah,
into
because
you.
I'm like, yeah, you guys need your brakes. You're gonna have howitzers in there, and it doesn't matter because even if you've got the barrel out of the van, it
still
like
comes back.
Pong,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like somebody took a fucking sledgehammer to the side of the van and just started bashing.
Didn't it break down too? Didn't the truck like trying to take it home break down?
Hell yeah, it did. Yeah, man, it's $500 van. I bought it off KSL. Had one of the guys paint it like a Scooby Doo. It says like Black Rifle Coffee on it. We'll put a photo in the podcast.
Where is it?
It's out back.
You still have it?
Yeah, it's still here. They